Some of the most powerful ideas in history, they're not always spelled out for us. Sometimes they're hidden in plain sight, tucked away inside these ancient metaphors. Today we're going to decode a really fascinating prophecy about destruction and rebirth. And we're going to do it all through the lens of two very different kinds of trees. So let's dive in. Okay, so our whole journey kicks off right here with this really enigmatic verse from the prophet Isaiah. It describes two different sources of new life. One that comes from a stump, and another that comes from the roots. It's a prophecy about redemption, sure, but the imagery is just so specific. It kind of feels like a puzzle, doesn't it?
So you have to ask, what's the real difference here? I mean, why mention both? Think about it. A stump, well, that's what's left after a tree's been cut down. It's visible, but it's damaged. The roots, though, they're completely hidden, buried underground. This isn't just some pretty poetry, folks. It's a code. And to crack it, we actually have to turn to the natural world.
And believe it or not, the key to this ancient metaphor lies in simple botany. Yeah, you heard me. Because not all trees regrow in the same way. And that difference? Well, that difference is everything. First up, let's look at regrowth from the stump. I want you to picture a eucalyptus tree. When you cut it down, new branches can sprout right from the sides of the trunk that's left over. It's a continuation of the very same tree. The old life, even though it's been damaged, is still visibly there, and it's what gives birth to the new. Now contrast that with an olive tree. Sometimes the trunk can be completely destroyed. Burned, rotted, just gone. But even then, entirely new shoots can emerge directly from the root system, deep underground. See, that's not a continuation. It's a total rebirth, from a source nobody could even see. And this just brilliantly illustrates the two metaphors. Growth from the trunk? That's redemption, when a legacy, a community is still there, even if it's been cut down. But growth from the roots? Oh, that's redemption from a state of total devastation, when it looks like absolutely nothing is left, but deep down, a hidden, foundational life force just endures. So, what this really means is that the prophecy offers hope for two very different kinds of despair. There's hope for those who are holding on to the remnants of their heritage, and there's also hope for those who feel completely cut off, as if everything has been lost. It's this incredibly powerful, all-encompassing message of renewal. But get this powerful metaphor of the two trees isn't the only one Isaiah uses. He takes this core idea of resilience and he just expands it into a far more complex and way more profound symbol for an entire nation. And this gives us a glimpse into an even deeper story. He shifts gears from the story of a single royal line, the stump of Yeshai, to a song about a vineyard. You have to notice the change in scale here. We're no longer talking about just one tree or a single line of succession that can be reborn. No, now we're talking about an entire ecosystem, a vineyard, and it represents the whole people of Israel. And a grapevine, well, it's not like a sturdy oak tree. It's demanding, it's complex, it has very specific needs and a very unique way of surviving. And this is where the metaphor gets so much deeper and so much more dramatic. And that story of the vineyard is exactly what we're going to be exploring next time. The secrets hidden inside this metaphor are a masterclass in survival, history, and destiny, and they pose some truly fascinating questions. For instance, why a vine? A plant that, if you leave it on its own, just sprawls around in the dirt. It needs external support to grow upwards and actually bear fruit. What could that possibly signify for an entire nation? And what is the secret of growing on dead wood? What does it mean for a living people to find their strength by clinging to a trellis, relying on a past that is no longer alive in order to reach for the future?
And for a grapevine to really thrive, it has to be pruned drastically every single year, cut back to almost nothing. It looks like complete destruction, but it's the only way to ensure a fruitful harvest. So how can a nation's survival depend on such a radical, painful process of renewal?
And finally, how on earth does this sprawling metaphor of the vine connect all the way back to the story of Joseph and a fateful dream about some grapes and a cupbearer in a dark Egyptian prison cell? The answers to all of these questions, they're encoded in the life cycle of the vine. It's a blueprint for resilience and destiny. Join us next time as we break that code wide open. You don't want to miss it.